A special thank you to each of our subscribers who make this channel possible. Here's today's story. In a significant diplomatic move, the United States State Department announced on Friday that it will deny visas to members of the Palestinian Authority, including President Mahmoud Abbas, ahead of the upcoming United Nations General Assembly scheduled to begin on September 9th. This decision has sparked outrage and calls for action from various international leaders, notably France, which has urged the U.S. to allow the full participation of Palestinian representatives at the UN gathering. Under an agreement, as the host of UN headquarters in New York, the United States is traditionally expected to grant visas to officials attending UN meetings. However, the State Department's recent decision appears to contravene this long-standing practice, raising questions about the implications for international diplomacy and the peace process in the Middle East. A State Department official confirmed that approximately 80 Palestinians would be affected by this visa denial, a move described as being in alignment with the Trump administration's stance on the Palestinian Liberation Organization, PLO, and the Palestinian Authority, PA. The official stated, Secretary of State Marco Rubio is denying and revoking visas for members of the PLO and the PA ahead of the upcoming United Nations General Assembly. The rationale behind this decision, according to the State Department, is rooted in national security interests and the need to hold the PLO and PA accountable for what they perceive as actions undermining peace prospects. This decision comes at a time when the Israeli government is pursuing a military offensive in Gaza, further complicating the already tense situation in the region. French Foreign Minister Jean-Noël Barrot responded to the U.S. decision by emphasizing that access to the UN General Assembly should not be subject to restrictions. He stated, a UN General Assembly meeting should not be subject to any restrictions on access, echoing sentiments from other EU foreign ministers who voiced support for Palestinian representation. The backdrop to this diplomatic row is the ongoing recognition of Palestine as a state by several countries, including Canada and Australia, during the 80th session of the UN General Assembly. In stark contrast, Israel has vehemently opposed the establishment of a Palestinian state and has sought to conflate the West Bank-based Palestinian Authority with Hamas, which governs the Gaza Strip. Palestinian Authority President Mahmoud Abbas, a veteran leader who has previously maintained cordial relations with Washington, had intended to attend the UN meeting, according to statements from Riyad Mansour, the Palestinian ambassador to the UN. The State Department's accusations against the Palestinians included claims of lawfare, referring to their efforts to seek justice through international courts regarding grievances with Israel. They called on the Palestinian Authority to abandon its pursuit of unilateral recognition of a Palestinian state. Israeli Foreign Minister Gideon Sa'ar expressed gratitude to the Trump administration for its decision, stating, "Thank you for this bold step and for standing by Israel once again." In response, the Palestinian Authority has urged the United States to reconsider its decision, arguing that it contradicts international law and the UN headquarters agreement. UN spokesman Stefan Dujarric highlighted the importance of representation for all states and observers, including the Palestinians, at the upcoming summit, expressing hope for a resolution to the visa issue. The US and Israel have accused France and other nations of enabling Hamas through their recognition of a Palestinian state, a claim that has drawn ire from French President Emmanuel Macron. Frustrated by the ongoing Israeli offensive in Gaza, Macron has insisted that there can be no further delay in advancing the peace process. Following Macron's announcement, Canada and Australia also indicated their intentions to recognize a Palestinian state, while Britain stated it would do so unless Israel agrees to a ceasefire in Gaza. Historically, the United States has faced pressure from activists to deny visas to leaders of nations they oppose, especially those accused of human rights violations. However, such requests are typically dismissed. Notably, in 1988, the General Assembly convened in Geneva to hear PLO leader Yasser Arafat after the U.S. refused him entry to New York. The U.S. also previously denied a visa to Sudan's then-President Omar al-Bashir in 2013 due to an ICC arrest warrant for genocide allegations. As President Trump prepares to deliver one of the first speeches at the General Assembly, His administration has continued to distance itself from the UN and other international bodies, having previously withdrawn from the World Health Organization and the UN Climate Agreement while imposing sanctions on ICC judges. This latest visa denial adds another layer of complexity to the already fraught relationship between the US, Israel, and Palestine, as the world watches the unfolding diplomatic tensions in the lead-up to the UN General Assembly. That's all for this story. We upload videos every day covering many different subjects, so hit that subscribe button to stay informed. Thanks for watching.